Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Colorful Kid Podcast. On this episode, we have Gerardo and Tomas from Charla Football joining us to recap the March window for Mexico and its World Cup implications. Let's start with Gerardo. How's it going, man?
What's good, guys? Thank you so much for the invite. I'm really excited to join the podcast. And Mexico had a very interesting window, a very exciting window against Portugal and Belgium, and it has a lot of things that we could talk about.
Tomas, drop some knowledge.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to be here, obviously, and just ready to get into it.
Well, let's go right into it. Mexico, Portugal. Mexico opens the Azteca, or at least 85% of it's done. We'll see how much it gets done. Gerardo, what are your thoughts watching that game? Tata's lineup, tactics, just overall vibes.
I mean, overall vibes. I mean, it was the re-inauguration or the reopening of the Estadio Azteca. So, I mean, just looking at it from where I'm at in California, you just want it to be there. You know, you see people posting it. You see how the crowd and the stadium looks like. It looks just like the place to be, and it kind of gives you like that World Cup feel, like right before the World Cup. So obviously, it was just a beautiful sight. You know, we hadn't seen the Estadio Azteca open, or my bad, the Estadio Banorte open in like a few years. So
No
it was
one's
nice.
gonna call it that, man. No one
Yeah,
is
no
gonna
one's
call
calling
it
it that.
Banorte.
Right?
I'm
I'm just gonna
sorry.
stick
I
to
don't know.
Azteca.
I know they paid a lot of money, but ain't no one calling it Estadio Banorte.
Exactly, exactly. I agree, bro. So yeah, okay. At the Azteca, that was the place to be. The Azteca, I mean, it looked full. Like you said, it's probably like 85% done. I don't think it's going to be ready for the World Cup, but I mean, at least for the games, for what we saw against Portugal, I mean, it looked like a good show. Unfortunately, the game itself just didn't deliver. A 0-0 result for the neutral fan was just not what you wanted to see. And I guess you could also feel like, as a Mexico fan, you could feel like Mexico should have came out of that game with the win, especially after that Hormiga chance. But we'll get into it.
Tomas, what about the lineup?
I mean, it was a surprising lineup, especially seeing Brian in there.
hmm
But I mean, at the end of the day, well, I mean, what can I say? Like, it was just a really good lineup.
I actually enjoyed the lineup, especially that midfield. I feel like that midfield was really interesting. You know, we have been seeing this specific trio between Edson, Gilberto Mora, and Marcel Ruiz, but all of them obviously injured for this window. Marcel Ruiz potentially missing out on the World Cup. Edson Alvarez barely coming back. Mora barely coming back as well. So Vasco was trying something new in that midfield, and I feel like we found out who our midfield could potentially be for the World Cup if the other three are not ready for the World Cup as well. But I mean, what else can you say about the 11? Tala Rangel, he's without a doubt he's going to be a starter at the World Cup.
Yep.
For the right backs, for the right back and the left back, Gallardo has solidified himself there. Reyes, I feel like, should also have solidified himself after that match. I mean, the center back pairing, I mean, that's been the best center back pairing that I've seen in a while. You know, under La Selección Mexicana since probably like Rafa Marquez and what Moreno in that 2014 World Cup alongside Massa Rodriguez. Overall, like defensively, from the starting 11, you can't change much. The midfield trio is good. It's just up top where we really, lack creativity.
Yeah, it's evident, but I hate to praise the defense of an attacking player, but at least Piojo, he's not
Yeah,
getting run over. He's
that's true.
defensively, he's holding up. He played against João Felix. He played against top
Nuno
players.
Mendes.
Doku, like in the Belgium game, he's holding it up. 2030, it's going to be Gutierrez, it's going to be Vargas, it's going to be Fidalgo, Lida. Those guys are still going to be around for the next cycles, but it's a sprint to the World Cup. So I would like to see if Vasco's going to start Guti, if he's going to, I don't think he's going to start Vargas. He might be one of those players that maybe stock trended a little bit down after this window, but I want to see Gutierrez, Fidalgo, and Jimenez, Raul, just get some more game time, just a little bit more. Like when you play with a guy for 2, 3 games in a row, you kind of predict his movements, you kind of see where they're going. And the Belgian game, I think, kind of paid off because Gutierrez, Fidalgo, Jimenez, you could tell there was something there. Like there was a little bit more movement. So I'm looking forward to see those guys get some more action. Tomas, what do you feel about Mexico's starting striker? How did Raul do? Are you a Raul hater, or are you on the bandwagon here?
I'm not sure how to feel about him because I mean, to what we saw in the last summer from him, he kind of trended down a little bit, and I feel like maybe he's he's a good striker in holding the ball up, and I mean, obviously getting played off of. I just feel like we need a second striker that's able to create with him. Somebody like Santi, because I feel like Raul's main job should be finishing. He's one of the best finishers we have, and I just see him holding the ball a lot more and kind of playing more with the midfield.
Yeah. We saw that in specifically in the game against Portugal, a lot of hold up play from Raul Jimenez. He was linking up really well with a lot of the technical players in our midfield and also Quinones, who was tucking in as a second striker. So that's why we saw a lot of good movements. We saw all the technical players linking up. Like you said, Fidalgo, Brian Gutierrez, Quinones, and Raul Jimenez. They had like moments of brilliance where we saw Mexico created like 3, 4 chances almost back to back in the first half. And I mean, that's just what Mexico needs more reps of, more of those technical players, to get kind of just build their chemistry as if it was it was as if it was on FIFA, like building that chemistry bar. I forgot what it was called, but getting it from yellow to green. And that's what we need in the Selección Mexicana.
If you know, you know.
Exactly.
Let's one thing I noticed, and it's happened in both games. I'm not saying Mexico can compete with these teams game to game, every game, things like that. But Mexico's starting 11 can put up a fight, but once we drop down and we've started making those massive subs, then in both games, but especially in the Portugal game, man, that level just dropped. And just to kind of put a number on that, Mexico had 27% possession against Portugal, and it didn't even feel like it was that much.
You have to look at the quality of the bench that Portugal had. They didn't start their best players. I mean, they started some of their best players, but then they made a whole change in the midfield, bringing on the guys from PSG, the current Champions League winners in both Vitinha and Joao Neves. I mean, those guys can run a midfield by themselves. Like they don't need anybody else. And that's exactly what happened in the second half against Portugal. They just completely ran the midfield. It was a whole Vitinha show. But I mean, the good thing about Mexico is that they don't just get ran over. Unlike in that game against Colombia, I'll say that's a one-off. But
That was
for the
bad. That
most
game was
part,
bad.
yeah, that was really bad. But defensively, overall, we've seen under Vasco, like these guys are very solid tactically, very disciplined. Not much more to that. I mean, we saw, like I said, they had that one opportunity for Hormiga, and I feel like that's kind of what we're going to expect at the World Cup, getting into the latter stages of the tournament. When we go to the round of 16 and potentially face like an England or like I don't know, a Portugal or something, then we're probably going to see something more similar to that.
I think the current prediction is Mexico versus England at the Azteca in the
Yeah. As if they
round of
top the group
16.
and England tops the group or something.
Around the 16.
Yeah.
Let's see if those, Juanitos can handle the altitude and the smog in Mexico City.
That's all we're holding on to, bro. It's thoughts, prayers, and the altitude.
Honestly, out of the top 5 national teams, I'd rather have it be England than anybody else.
I honestly, I agree with that too, bro, because England are known bottle jobs, especially in the World Cup. They think every year, every 4 years, it's coming home, and it never does.
Yeah, like, what am I gonna be scared of England for, tying a game?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, like, that's, like, the one team I'm like obviously, they're better than Mexico, but it's just like, if I
Yeah.
had to pick one, it's like, I'll take my shot with England, why not?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, 'cause I wouldn't wanna take Germany, I wouldn't wanna take Argentina, Brazil, I wouldn't wanna take, anybody inside of that top 5. France, I would never wanna take France. I
Spain
would not wanna
especially.
take Spain, I'd rather just take England, like, out of if I had to pick that top 8 from Europe, it's England all day.
Did you guys see France's 2nd team whooping Colombia last
Yeah,
in the window?
exactly. The depth that these guys have, like, I mean, if they were to, I mean, if Mexico were to, I think that was actually a rumor too that Mexico were gonna play against France in one of these matches. So instead of either,
Yeah,
I think it was instead of Belgium, they were gonna play against France. Imagine we played against France, bro. They would have done to what they did to Colombia to us. Like, not, thank God they changed it to Belgium.
yeah, Belgium's good, but yeah, like, Mexico's defense, did not let's move on to the Belgium game, but the one thing to keep in mind over these 180 minutes, it took a wonder goal for Mexico to give up a goal, like, that was a golazo. I've watched
Yeah.
replays, the angle, like, that was just a straight up golazo, so Mexico's defense held up against these teams over 180 minutes. Yes, we only scored 1 goal, but soccer, it's about defense first, like, you just gotta keep them in there, you gotta keep your team in the game, like, you get the USA got run over in both of these games, and we play the same teams, so defense
I mean,
first.
what's that famous saying? They say defense or attack wins you games, but defense wins you titles, pretty much. And I
Accurate.
mean, if going into the World Cup, I think that's what we're gonna have to hold on to.
Hey, Vasco's the best manager for this because he's used to being the manager of these almost relegation-bound clubs that put up a
Yeah.
fight. I love
Right.
Mexico, but we are not in that top 8 of the world, top 12, like, we're gonna have to fight to
Exactly.
to get through the next round and things like that.
Bro, we saw what Vasco did with Mallorca, what was it, 2 seasons ago, right before he was appointed as coach? He brought a relegation Mallorca team, or a mid-table team now, Mallorca, to the Copa del Rey final. Obviously, they lost against Bilbao, but I mean, that's honestly what I hope for as a Selección Mexicana fan, that he can replicate what he did with Mallorca and just maybe it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be 1-0, going to PKs in every match. Who cares? If I'm in the final, actually, me and Tomas were having the discussion when we were out at the game. We were like, "Bro, would you be okay with Mexico making it to the final and potentially winning it? But that means we don't win a single match at the World Cup. Like it's 0-0 almost every match, and or penalty kicks once you get to the round of like 32, 16 quarterfinals, etc."
Yeah, I take it. Would you, Tomas?
Yeah, I mean, I take that all day. I don't care if we tie. I don't care if they call us England again, but
I'll take it. You guys were covering the game. First of all, how'd you guys enjoy the weather? The sunny Chicago weather?
bipolar,
Very, very.
bipolar.
The day we got there, I was like, "Oh, it feels like I'm back in Cali, like, the weather's nice." Like, I thought Chicago was the windy city, I thought it was gonna be cold. I brought these jackets for nothing, thick ass, heavy jackets. The next day, we couldn't even survive at night, dude. No, it was freezing.
It
It
was
felt like
terrible.
6 degrees. I think when we looked at the weather app, it literally said it feels like 6 degrees. I was like, "Shit, I'm in the wrong, like, side of the country, bro. This is not my weather."
Yeah.
The funny part was, like, I think around 10 AM, it was still, like, 50, 60 degrees, I feel like, earlier in the day on Tuesday, but by the time kickoff came, dude, it was cold, man. I live here, it was cold. I almost did not bring my jacket, but I just left it in the car, and I get to the parking garage, and I was like, "You know what, let me bring this in."
In
Yeah,
case.
it was cold.
Oh, yeah.
The first 45 minutes, Mexico against Belgium, everyone's hyping it up, you guys were there. What do you think about those first 45 minutes against, Belgium?
Tomas, you go for it, bro.
I mean, it's just something. It was unexpected, to be honest. I did not expect to take the ball away from a team that is known for keeping the ball like Belgium. I thought it would be more like a Canada game where Canada has decent possession as well from the Nations League. But it was completely the opposite. I mean, the first half, Vasco takes the ball. We see Brian Gutierrez linking up going forward. We see Fidalgo maintaining the ball in the midfield. And there's just moments where I'm thinking to myself, Mexico looks superior to Belgium right now.
Is Mexico back?
Yeah, exactly.
Gerardo, before you start, just some stats on the first half against Belgium. This is just the first half. Mexico actually had 53% possession. They had 9 shots, 2 corner kicks, compared to Belgium, who had 1 shot, no corner kicks. And yeah, just go ahead. I'll let you take it away from there. But just to give people who maybe didn't watch the game or just close enough, Mexico did boss them a little bit in that first half.
No, easily that was the best first half that we've seen under Vasco Aguirre in this third stint specifically. I mean, against Portugal, we saw something similar, but it only lasted 10 to 15 minutes because then Portugal kind of understood the match. But Belgium never understood those first 45 minutes. Even Kevin De Bruyne, luckily I was able to speak to him at the mix zone, and he said that it was a very aggressive Mexico team. They have an identity, and I mean that team that we saw in those first 45 minutes, I mean, that's what I want to see for 90 minutes in every single match. But I mean, it's very difficult, especially in football today, where a team can control a match for a full 90 minutes. Unless you're like Barcelona or Manchester City, there's literally no other team that could do that. But I was left very impressed with, I was left impressed. I was left satisfied with those first 45 minutes. I mean, even obviously taking away the draw. But I mean, like we were kind of already mentioned in the beginning. I mean, we saw our technical players link up. We saw that midfield trio once again, like just look extremely what's the word I'm looking for? There was a lot of mobility in that midfield. There was a lot of movement. It wasn't very stagnant in the midfield. So that's what I really enjoyed from Mexico in those first 45 minutes. And unfortunately, I mean, it's just the same story over and over where we were creating, but we just can't put them in the back of the net. I think Quinones had at least 2 opportunities. One really good opportunity at the top of the box where, I mean, if he's in Saudi, he's putting that away. But when he puts on the Selección Mexicana shirt, something happens to his touch. Same thing with Raul Jimenez. He had a clear opportunity to bring the ball down inside of the box, but his touch lets him down. So we had the opportunity to at least go 2-3 nil up in in those first 45 minutes. But I mean, it's just the things that Bosco's gonna have to look at and learn from it. Because when it comes to the World Cup, for sure, those are moments that we're gonna have to like take advantage of.
Tomas, can you speak on that, defensive line for Mexico?
Yeah, so
I feel like we're ragging on the offensive players, but the defense, that's one area that Mexico's had for most of Vasco's time. You have Vasquez, you have Montes as the pillars there, then you usually have Gallardo, so I think that defensive line is set. What do you think?
yeah, I think it could pretty much be set. I mean, there was Vasco Aguirre did touch on the fact if Edson coming back that he might, think about him as a third option center back with Vasquez, Montes, and Edson. Keeping in fact that he's played a 3-4-3, 3-5-2. But Gallardo defends very well. I mean, I think he likes him because he defends very well.
Mhm.
He's physical. He's more physical than Mateo
He's
Chavez for
physical.
sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now on the other side at the right back, it was kind of a surprise with Jorge Sanchez because although we did see him, play in the Nations League and had his continuation through the Gold Cup, Jorge Sanchez, I mean, he didn't start versus Portugal. He preferred Reyes. I know he tried Ledesma in the window prior. He also tried sorry, I'm forgetting his name, another right back, but
Was it Celi Garcia? I think he
yeah,
played.
Garcia. And so I kind of thought, maybe he's gonna try Ledesma as a right back. He hasn't tried him in the four back. He only tries him in the five back. But I mean, he's a surprise. He was there and he played a decent game and he ended up scoring.
Yeah, I think in the post-game interview, he was basically saying, or it was either post-game or I forget, but an interview that I saw after the game, he was kinda saying that Ledesma is a great forward, but he doesn't trust him going back.
Defense.
And, going against a Belgium, Portugal, Vasco was thinking defense first. So I think that's why he didn't trust him. Granted, now can we see him in a against Korea, against,
South
Czech
Africa.
Republic, South Africa? Maybe against those quote unquote "weaker teams." But against these bigger clubs, I think Vasco is thinking defense first.
Yeah.
Because
But yeah,
I would love to see Ledesma. I wrote this thing back in October, right before he tore his ACL. But when it became clear that Mexico had no wingers, I was all for it. Let's go three in the back, have Chavez and Huescas bombing down the sidelines, providing the width. I
yeah.
was all in on that, and then Huescas tore his ACL and all that, but Mexico has no wingers, so that's what I was hoping for. But yeah, I think, defensively, I think what we talked about offensively where people are linking up, but there's not that chemistry yet. On the flip side, we got that chemistry with Montes and, Vasquez.
Oh yeah. I think they're the two players that have the most reps under Vasco. They have the most games.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do. But,
No,
hold on real quick. You need a 3rd center back, though. Like, I feel like in these competitions, you get 2 dumb yellows or you know how it is, "Oh, he's suspended for the next game." And I'm not scared. Israel Reyes can easily pop in there. You can give Edson, you can play Lida, and that's before you go to, like, the natural center back. So, defensively, I feel safe. What are your thoughts?
no, no. I mean, defensively, that is our strong suit. We have overall, whether it's a back four or we play with the back five, I feel very comfortable with the players that we have. The only moments I get nervous is when we see a guy like Jorge Sanchez in the lineup.
Yeah.
But like we said, like you guys touched on that in the game against Belgium, he played pretty well. You can't. I mean, he scored the first goal, and I mean, you really can't take anything away from him. He played a very good match up until he got that yellow card. Then Vasco decided, okay, let me make sure we're not down to 10 men, so let me take him out, put Reyes in. But we have plenty of options. Whether it's in this for the center back pairing or for the wing backs, and we have quality too, because most of our starting wing or right back and left back is going to be Gallardo and either Reyes or Jorge Sanchez. But we have other guys who are more than capable, like Mateo Chavez, who plays in Holanda. We have Rodrigo Huescas, who I mean, potentially, hopefully, he makes it back in time, who plays in the Danish league with Copenhagen. So I mean, it's kind of like a lujo. It's a luxury for us to have like our European-based players, like also just sitting on the bench as well. But that's how good like these Liga MX players have really stepped up to the task. Also, we have to talk about Tyler Rangel, bro. Tyler Rangel had a really decent window. I mean, he pulled off some good saves. I mean, against Belgium, I feel like he didn't really have much work. Against Portugal, he had a lot of work. He took out some good saves as well. But I mean, he solidified himself as a starter, especially with the way that Rafa and Vasco like to play, playing out the back, trying to have a decent build up from goalkeeper all the way to our forwards. I felt very confident with Al Rangel, especially with his ball playing abilities.
Yeah, his distribution was really I know he does it with Chivas, they like to play out the back, but he had some nice deep balls connecting, skipping over the defensive line, so I feel very comfortable saying I would be shocked, and I know I probably said this in 2010, I would be shocked if Rangel doesn't stay the starting goalkeeper going forward. Do you s Tomas, do you see another keeper taking that spot? Are you on the Memo hype train, or is it just, "Hey, Rangel's doing good, let's just keep it going"?
I feel like Rankel is. I feel like I just think he's better in general than Memo. I mean, Memo doesn't come out, of his 6 yard box on corner kicks. Rankel has the height for it. He's about 6'3". Rankel plays out the back fairly way better than Memo does, and I mean, he has everything that Rafa and Vasco like over Memo. And on top of that, I mean, we know the personal, maybe not personal, but Vasco just doesn't rate Memo highly as a player. So I would be shocked if Memo, ended up in that starting lineup.
I'm so happy he's going. He gets that 6th World Cup, and that's special. It's gonna be him, Messi, and Ronaldo.
Although,
That's you can't take that away from him. So I'm happy he's going, but I think his time has passed, and Rangel's doing well. Let's just keep it going. Let's just keep Rangel in there. Acevedo's there for the ride. I thought he would have been Mexico's keeper by 2026. He kinda stagnated, and maybe he needs to leave his club. I don't
oh,
know, but
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
and just to drive home the point that Mexico bossed Belgium. Belgium had a .10 expected goals the whole game. I'm not gonna sit here and say Mexico killed them defensive or offensively, but Mexico had .54 expected goals, so over 5 times what Belgium did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed Mexico didn't win 1-0, 2-1, but the window as a whole, I give it an 8 out of 10. What about you, Gerardo?
No, I mean, not losing to Portugal, who's a World Cup favorite, and then Belgium. I want to say they're a World Cup favorite, but at least they're decent enough team to make it to quarters, semifinals. I mean, I would give it maybe even a 9. Maybe put a let's get a little, put it up there. I'd give it a 9.
I feel like I'd give it like an 8 as well because I do feel like there was just subs that shouldn't have been made, players that shouldn't have played. I get it, he's trying to test out all these players, but I just wanted to see him like, maybe 3, 4 subs where they're, precise subs,
Yeah.
and I feel like it would have been a lot more effective,
Like you just wanted to see a little bit more continuity from the starting 11. Like start
especially into
getting
the
those reps in.
especially going into the second half. I mean, I just felt like there were just players that should have been subbed out or players that shouldn't have even started. I mean, Pineda to just name one.
Yeah, Pineda is one of those players that stocks definitely went down.
And he's one of those examples where, like, you can't always trust like, I love the player ratings and stuff like that in SofaScore, FootMob, but sometimes you gotta, like, look at him and be like, "Alright, I watched the game, I don't think he did that well," because it just depends on the position and what they rate for that position. I think Pineda did okay, but I wish it would've been someone else starting at, right mid or right wing. Who? I don't know, but maybe Vega gets Vega some more minutes, but is he match fit? Can Vega give you more than 20 minutes? I don't know. I think either way, Piojo's starting there in the World Cup
For
come
Yeah.
sure.
South Africa. I think he's starting. The biggest thing I'll take away from this window is it feels like Mexico has their identity, kinda like Kevin De Bruyne was saying. Mexico has the identity, and with the national team, I almost feel like that's more important than anything else because it's just so many different players coming in, but if you have an identity set, you know what you have to bring. So I'm okay with being defensive first. It is what it is. We don't have the firepower. We just don't. So I know we kind of talked about this individual players here or there. Gerardo, hit me with a one player that you think improved their stock this window.
100% it has to be Eddie Lira. I mean, I said this the day like right after the Belgium game. Well, I mean, we saw it also against the Portugal game. Eddie Lira alone holds, he holds himself down right there in the midfield. He doesn't need another defensive minded midfield partner. He can run a midfield by himself. And then especially playing out the back, he's very comfortable receiving the ball, the espaldas, and whether it's a 30-yard pass or a short pass as well, this guy on the ball, I mean, we see what he does under Larcamón at Cruz Azul. He's been doing it for many years with Cruz Azul already. He's so used to, tucking in as another center back or then jumping into the midfield. He can score goals as well. I mean, we saw in the Microciclo when they went to the River Plate and Internacional de Porto Alegre, he could get himself some goals as well. This guy, I feel like he has to be a starter at the World Cup. And I'm not saying that Edson Alvarez doesn't deserve to be there as well. Like we had mentioned this off the podcast, he's Mexico's captain. He has to be there as well. I don't know whether it's off of the bench or playing as another center back, or maybe they can both be partners in that midfield. But Eric Lira, I think he's just an exceptional player. He's going to make a move to Europe after the World Cup. I don't think that he's going to stay in Liga MX no longer because the level that this guy is playing at, especially at his age too, I think he's 24, 25, so he's still fairly young. He's ready for something more, and I feel like at the World Cup he's going to prove it.
Hit me with a player that went down.
That went down. I'd say. I mean, mentioning Pineda, a player that went down as well. I mean, I don't think there's.
There's not that many people that I would say had a
Yeah,
down window.
because I mean, you need to keep in the context of the window. These two teams that were fairly difficult. I feel like everybody gave their part, but I just feel like I didn't see from Orbelin what I usually see. Maybe like going 2, 3 years back, and especially going now where I didn't see from Orbelin what I saw from a Piojo in versus Portugal.
I will say in terms of stock of making the roster, and he wasn't there. I think Araujo's stock went down in making the roster with Reyes kind of putting his hand up to play right back. Because if Reyes is putting his hand up to play right back and you got Jorge Sanchez, if Vasco thinks, hey, Reyes can cover for both, I don't need to bring another natural right back. I think Araujo's chances of making the roster just went down.
Yeah. Well, I
Okay,
completely
possible.
agree, especially being in the Scottish division, playing with Celtic. I mean, yeah, he was playing Europa League, but they already got knocked out like almost instantly. Or did they get knocked out? Did they get knocked out already?
I do not know, but I get what you're saying. But like we said, identity. When was the last time he played for Mexico?
The
I
Gold
think maybe
Cup
in the Gold Cup,
semifinals, I think.
semifinals Gold Cup.
Yeah, because then remember, both him and Mateo Chavez didn't play in the final. Julian Araujo didn't get called up even to the bench. So we were like, what? Like, what just happened? They had basically went almost the whole tournament playing under Vasco and then just disappeared in the final.
So if you have a player who hasn't played for you in such a long time, and Vasco's going to trust who he's seen and who he has played in front of, who has done the job. So he would be a player that quote unquote stock has gone down just because I don't think he's going to make the roster now. I
Mhm.
just don't. Another player, I don't want to put Obed as a stock went down. I think maybe his stock went down in terms of starting, maybe,
Already.
I think maybe
but
it's just it went stagnant.
yeah, but then he played so well against Barcelona now. So like,
Yeah,
it's weird, but I think
With
it's
Obed, I feel like he's the kind of player you need to give confidence.
building up.
he's like a Ritmo player. You got to give him some
You
time
got
and
to give
like
him some lot of time. Definitely.
he's making the roster. I'm not saying he's not going to make the roster. I just think maybe when it comes time to look at a starter, maybe Vasco doesn't pick him. I don't know. Because another thing is we still have 3 friendlies, I think, before the World Cup itself. Plus, I think we're probably gonna play a behind closed doors match. Typically, that happens 4 or 5 days before the World Cup, something like that. So I think there's still a chance for him to integrate himself more, but I don't know who else would go down. And if I had to pick someone who went up, Brian Gutierrez, man.
For
Skyrocketing.
sure.
I know you guys made a video on his rise, and it's crazy because like I'm wearing a Chicago Fire hoodie. Like he was here 4 months ago. He was
Yeah.
his family's from Jalisco, so I'm a Club America fan. So I knew he wasn't gonna go play for Club America. I knew that, but like the dude was not getting called up by USA. Mexico was like, all right, we'll take a look once he got his passport. But I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say he has to start. But if he started against South Africa, would any of you guys be surprised?
I wouldn't.
No, no, I wouldn't. I feel like I mean, we'll see what happens in those 3 matches right before the World Cup, but, I mean, if he shows what he showed in this window specifically, he could easily insert himself as a starter, whether it's alongside Gilberto Mora, who I feel like has to be a starter even if he's not, at his 100%. I mean, the quality of some of these young up and coming players. It's just something that we haven't seen with La Selección Mexicana in a while. So I really want to see Brian Gutierrez in that midfield.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would want to as well. There's nothing like there's nothing that he did that'd be like I wouldn't want that on my starting lineup.
He has that something, and, like, I hate to just he has balls, like, if
Yeah,
he has the ball, his first thought is not, "Oh, who can I play it back?" His first thought is, "Who's ahead of me? Who can I pass it to and play off?" Like, him and Quiñones against Belgium, oh, man, those first 45 minutes, it was beautiful to see those 2 guys linking up,
They're
I
very
mean,
direct players, especially Brian. He's just has one idea, and that's just going towards goal. That's it.
yeah,
and, one of the things he struggled, and I've said this before, he struggled with Chicago was his engine, his defensive engine, his, like, kind of like, "Alright, let me put some pressing, let me," but since he's been at Chivas, man, he's flipped the switch. He is pressing, he's smart with his pressing triggers, he doesn't overcommit. It's really nice to see, plus, Mexico doesn't really have any of these kinda guys who, like, will rip a shot from 20, 25 yards out. He will just rip it and man, I think I would not be shocked if he has a golazo at the World Cup.
yeah, yeah, I
That'd be
wouldn't either.
insane.
I mean, we
That'd be insane.
saw. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that he tried to take some shots both against Portugal, against Belgium. They're both blocked. But I mean, one at some point, it's just a little bit of luck at the World Cup. I could see that happening, no problem.
Yeah, I was gonna comment with Chivas on the Chivas versus Leon game. For the longest, it was tied 0-0, and then he just opened up the score with the mid-range shot, top corner, and then the whole game opened up. Chivas ended up winning like 5-0.
Was against
That was a great game.
yeah,
Was it against Santos or Leon? I think it was Leon, no?
oh, no,
Leon,
no,
yeah, it
you're
was
right, you're
Leon.
with Leo,
Leon 5-0.
5-0.
Shout out to Leon, tough times. But yeah, that was like I said, I'm a Club America fan, but I watch, like, every Chivas game because it's like, "Alright, Brian's starting?" Well, actually, he doesn't even start that much, but that's a
Yeah.
different story for a different day. He's just a fun player to watch, and then, another guy I wanna make sure we talk about, Quiñones. I mean,
No,
he's
bro.
just I think, Tomas, were you saying that you wanted Raul to have another forward to play off of?
Yeah, but more directly, Quinones reminds me more of a finisher. I'd rather have them play 2 central nines with Quinones, and I don't know why Vasco throws him to the wing. And I feel
I
like Quinones always getting lost on that side, and I know he's very technical and very gifted. I just felt like if he was more central, in Quinones,
mhm.
I just think it would be better. But I mean, Vasco's Vasco.
I mean, when we saw him in previous windows, he was damn near touching the line,
Sideline, yeah.
the sideline, and that is not his best position. I know he played there with America, but
That was
we
years ago
see
now.
yeah, that was years ago. With Atlas, he was right next to Julio Furch. And over here in Saudi Arabia, he's been playing next to over here. Over there in Saudi Arabia, he's been playing next to Mateo Retegui. And they developed a really good striker partnership as well. And playing centrally, that's where I said if you're gonna call up if you're gonna call up Julian Quinones, you have to play him in his best position because there's no point in calling him up if you're gonna stick him to the wing where he's not gonna affect the game whatsoever. We're not gonna get the best version of himself. I mean, also Germán Berterame, for example. There were some games where he's playing him right wing and you see nothing from him. So if we're gonna call up players, play him where they're going to shine. And I mean, we saw in this window, he was still playing technically as a left winger, at least on the defensive
But he
end.
was tucked
But
in, he
going
was tucked
forward,
in.
he was tucked in. Yeah, exactly. And that's where he looked good.
And then the thing I like about him and, Gutierrez is Quiñones can tuck in, Guti can just kinda shift out behind him, play to the side, and it's fine. One of the things Mexico has going for it is the flexibility. A lot of these players can play multiple positions. So, that's why I think Guti's gonna make it no matter what. He can play on the wing if you want him to start out there, or if you want him to play one of the central midfielders, he could do that too. Yeah, Quiñones Raul needs someone up there. He needs someone to play off of, whether that's a dedicated number 10, which Mexico does not seem to be wanting to play, or a second striker. I mean, I'm okay with Quiñones starting playing on the quote unquote wing because he's just gonna attack in. He's just gonna fill that space. I think they call it zone 19 right in front of like the 18-yard box. He's there, he's attacking, he's linking up. I think again, I'm not saying he has to start, but he has to get another look. I want him to get 60, 70 minutes with Raul in a game. Him, Mora, Raul, I would like to see that.
That would be a really good trio right there.
Yeah.
Add Ryan Gutierrez to the mix. I mean, we're talking about we could get a few goals in the match, you know?
Or, you can keep Gutierrez on the bench and he can come in for someone. That's
Mhm.
fine. If you wanna have Fidalgo, I mean, we got Fidalgo, Mora, Gutierrez. That's a way more than
Lita,
we had, yeah, Lita, but as like a cam, you can play Gutierrez, Fidalgo, and Mora. We didn't have that last summer.
No.
We didn't have a player you could put in there and trust, and now we have multiple players. You have options, and these tournaments are won by players 12 through 15. Like, those are the guys that really help you off the bench, or you gotta rotate a player. Mexico has really struggled with that, those type of like, the not the second team, but, those players you bring off the bench, because hopefully when you bring someone off the bench, it doesn't happen what happened in this window where, "Oh, we go into the bench," the level goes down, which is
yeah,
what happened in these 2 games. So, one thing I want to touch on here is the wounded. I'll list the players I think have a chance of making the World Cup, and we can kinda talk about them. Edson, he's injured, he's making the World Cup. Santi, I'm gonna pencil him in as a World Cup player.
yeah, I
Gilberto
think
Mora Gilberto Mora is gonna play, he's gonna make the roster. Mateo Chavez, I think he makes it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Luis Chavez, I think, made his season debut a couple weeks ago, I think, in a friendly. Were you guys someone I know someone posted a story that Vasco kind of hinted that he is one of the players that he will wait for, Luis Chavez, just 'cause of on the ball. Mm, so I think he has a chance of making it. Araujo, I don't think Araujo's gonna make it now. It's gonna be tough for him. Marcel Ruiz, I don't know what doctor is telling him that he can possibly play. Maybe he went to that German doctor with the knee with the blood that Kobe went to in Germany. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't think he's gonna make it either.
There were some reports that came out saying that the medical team that worked with Samuel Umtiti, like, right before it was the 2018 World Cup to make sure that he makes it to that World Cup,
Mhm.
is, like, part of the team that's gonna be helping Marcel Ruiz. And I mean, if that's the case, then I'm really worried about Marcel Ruiz's future because after the 2018 World Cup, Umtiti just disappeared off of the
Yeah.
face of the planet, you know? And Marcel Ruiz, I feel like the best possible solution for him right now is just to recover and not force himself. And I'm a big Marcel Ruiz fan. I think he would have been a starter at the World Cup as well. But I mean, you have to think about your future, bro. You can't like just force yourself to come back and then you're just gonna end up constantly getting injured and your career is just never gonna be the same.
He's 25. I mean, he'll be 29 next World Cup. Easily be back in the midfield picture, but I don't know, man. I'm no doctor, but something tells me that if you tear any part of your ACL or anything, you're not gonna come back in 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is the player Vasco said that he wants to wait out on
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcel.
Vasco is in, I mean, he's in communication with his team. He was saying daily, so he really wants him back. And if I was Vasco, I'd tell him, just sit it out, bro. You're still young. You have 1 to 2 more World Cups in you. Relax.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm a Bulls fan, so I lived through the Derrick Rose years of knee injuries. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think he's going, and I hope he doesn't. Like you said, I Samuel and Titi, yeah, he basically his club career, he was still at Barcelona, I think, but
Mhm.
loan after loan. I don't even know where he's at. I think he's in Saudi, I think, right now.
I have no idea, bro.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
one
I just
player I
don't want
didn't
the
even
same thing to happen to Marcel.
list on here because I forgot. Chino Huerta.
Mhm.
I did
Chino Huerta
not
was
realize
another
his
one.
injury was, yeah.
He's just been doubtful. Like he should have already been back from his I think it was an ACL injury as well. But I mean, there's
I
just
think it was a knee injury, but I don't think it was an
oh, yeah,
ACL
you're right.
tear.
Knee injury.
Yeah.
I don't know yeah, I know it has something to do with his knee too. But yeah, after that, whenever he just hasn't been back in the squad for Anderlecht, and I don't think he's gonna make it to the World Cup.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Those are the guys I think most of these guys will come back. I think Luis Chavez has a chance. Araujo, no chance. Less chance. But take it easy, bro. I think you should sit this one out. We'll see. Tomas, what do you think about Vasco's tactics? He's kind of is he married to that 4-3-3, or is this one of those things where we keep calling it a 4-3-3, but it kinda just morphs into whatever we need it to be?
I feel like it morphs into what he wants it to be because I mean, me and Gerardo were watching this, live. One left back would kind of shift upward, the other one left back would come. Not only would the right back tuck in as a third center back, the other winger would tuck in as a kind of a wing back.
Right wing back, yeah.
Yeah, like a right wing back, and I was kind of, seeing that live, I'm thinking, he's obviously prioritizing the defense. He doesn't care for that counter or that weak side counter. He doesn't mind it. So I think, I mean, it's obviously a defensive first. Maybe, we say it's married to a 4-3-3, but really it's something deeper than that. It's just overall something that, I mean, he prefers.
Go ahead, Gerardo.
I was just gonna say when they were pressing, it looked like a 4-4-2 because it was Brian Gutierrez who was like pressing alongside Raul Jimenez, specifically in the first 45 minutes against Belgium. Like it was Quinones doing a lot of dirty work on the left wing when we just when pressing alone. So it was 4-4-2. But then when they would break that press, because Belgium were able to do that a few times, then Lira would tuck in as another center back, and we would see like almost like a so, I mean, yeah, I guess on paper it looks like a 4-3-3, but it's going to change obviously depending on who they're playing against. And I mean, looking at the World Cup, when you're playing against South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic, who are probably going to give you the initiative, and Mexico is going to have most of the ball, it wouldn't be surprised seeing some sort of 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 formation and just going all out attack.
Yeah, I think the only thing that will shift the change in tactics really is if he does play 2 number 9s.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Then something will need to change tactically, but as long as you only play the 1 striker with the current roster you have, you can quote unquote line up in a 4-3-3 and it'll just gonna morph to whatever you need it to be because players are a little flexible. But yeah, I'm glad he's kind of found his system. Like I said, I pushed for a 3-5-2 back when we had Huertas and Chavez down the flanks because we have no wingers. Mexico has no wingers right now.
Yeah.
I can't name one out and out winger. Quinones plays on the wing. He's not a winger. Other than Piojo, and even then we use him as a defensive winger.
I mean, yeah, but he does a fairly well job as a defensive wing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not taking that away from him, but just like we have no Tecatitos. We have no
Yeah.
Cabrito Arellanos. We don't have that
Style of
spark
winger
plug.
that can take your defender,
No,
pretty
Carlos
much.
Yeah.
Vela, no Diego Los Santos, nothing.
We don't have anything. And yeah, so let's just kind of roll into let's just go crazy. Let's just kind of talk about our starting 11 for South Africa versus South Africa. I'll just go position by position and we'll say yes, no if you guys think that's who's starting.
All right, bet. Starting.
Yeah, starting.
Gallardo,
Starting.
Probably starting, yeah.
Vasquez and Montes,
100%.
1010%, bro. Yeah.
Reyes at right back.
Possible. I
Against
wouldn't
South
bet on it.
Africa, I'm like, I don't
I
know.
wouldn't even bet on it because I feel like if Westcas comes back, he rates Westcas highly as a right back,
Yeah,
but I could see, Westcas coming back from the injury. He doesn't, say, I'm going with what I know.
yeah. The one thing these injured players have is like if their club season is quote unquote done, where they're not going to go up or down. Or Vasco said he'll take them early. Like he'll come
Yeah.
back to Mexico City. We'll start the process early, and those guys have an advantage like that, especially the Liga MX guys who the Liga MX clubs are going to release them. Okay,
Yeah.
Edson.
This one's tough for me, bro. This one's so tough for me. Just because like I'm a big Lira fan, I feel like it's gonna be Lira, especially because Edson hasn't even played a game yet for Fenerbahce since his injury. They just signed N'Golo Kante as well, and he's been doing very well in the Turkish league. So I'm like, it's gonna be difficult, but I'm 50-50 on that.
Tomas,
I'd
what do
say
you think?
off an educated guess off what Bosco said, during the press conference, that he wanted Edson to be more into like the role that he left off, as a center back. Off of that educated guess, I think Lita's his man. So I don't think Edson starts.
Fidalgo.
Nah, bro,
I
he
I,
has to start.
I say he starts.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I think he has to. The other center mid.
If
I'd want
Mora is not playing, then Gutierrez for sure.
I'd want him to start even if Mora was playing. Just to be fair.
That's a hot take.
While Mora's coming off an injury.
Quinones.
Yeah.
I think he'll start. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he'll start.
Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, for sure. I
No,
think he's starting.
100%. He's
100%.
the
Yeah.
definite starter.
Definitely starting.
Piojo Alvarado.
He's starting. Yeah. I think Piojo's starting.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
he rates him highly defensively for sure.
Yeah, I think that's other than like the Edson Lida debate and then Guti, maybe Mora. I think this is pretty much the lineup. I feel like going to the opening match of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said too, the right back is where it could also be tricky because if South Africa really aren't gonna attack us as much, I mean, you can go with a more attacking minded winger. I don't know if Ledesma will make it to the World Cup roster, but if it's him, you can put Ledesma there. If Weska somehow miraculously makes it, Weska's 100% would slot in too. So I guess it just depends on how the other team lines up too.
And like you were saying, I think Mexico in the old group stage, Mexico is gonna be the team with the ball, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Other than maybe South Korea, I think they have the ability to maybe dictate the game a little bit, but South Africa got bossed by Panama.
Twice.
Czech Republic just qualified. I think Mexico has a good chance of, like, those 2 games, like, they're gonna be the aggressors in those games, so you can see some tweaking in those games. And then I did have one question here from someone, a listener. Does Mexico's performance in this past international window change your prediction as how far they will go? It seems like teams' mentality of us against the world has completely changed and given them the belief they can play with anyone. So I guess if I asked you in February where Mexico would go, how far they would go versus how they would go, if I asked you now, did that change at all?
I mean, well, Gerardo's my witness. I said semifinals, back in like
Damn.
6 months ago.
Damn. Give me what you're having, bro.
I said semifinals because, like, if you look at just the process of football, Azcárraga just sold like half of his share of Club America to the Patriots. So there's money there. There's money invested. There's a lot of people investing in Mexico. I don't care if they have to rob it. They get to the semifinals just like
They give us
Korea
the
did in
Argentina team
2002.
it.
Just like Argentina with all the PKs?
Argentina
Yeah.
package.
Gerardo, what do you think? Are
I
you more
think
confident? Same?
not as confident as Tomas. I don't know what he's smoking, but
Yeah, I don't know
he's gonna
either,
have to
but
give us that off a camera. But nah, I'm definitely I would stick to my prediction, which is round of 16. Me being hopeful, I would want to see quarterfinals, but that's just being hopeful. The most realistic thing that will happen will be us getting to the round of 16 and then bowing out right there. And I'll be happy with that, to be honest. Because I mean, we're playing an extra match, and I mean, also depending on the rival that we will face in that round of 16, which I'm pretty sure is going to be like we have mentioned earlier in the podcast in England, depending how they do, or Croatia, depending on how they do in their group. But we'll see.
I just have one question. So you'd be happy with Mexico's worst performance as a host?
I'm okay, bro. I'm hey, me being hopeful, I want them to go quarterfinals. That's what I want. I'm not.
That if
It
you think
depends
about
on
it,
their performances as well, too,
quarterfinal is the base. That's where they've always made it to as a host, quarterfinal.
as a host. Yes, I agree, but we're in a different time. This is 2026, and there's way better teams. This is a bigger World Cup. There's more teams inside of the World Cups.
Mhm.
There's a
I
lot of
mean,
factors.
correct me if I'm wrong, but in 70 and 86, there was only 16 teams in the World Cup?
Oh, in 70, it was directly to quarterfinals, but 86 had a round of 16. I think they beat, I forgot who they beat. Might have been Bulgaria in the round of
Yeah.
16.
So it's 48 teams now, so it's a different world, but also not all 48 of those countries are, let's say, world beaters, but
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
bro, I mean, like, a year ago, how high did we all think the chances of Mexico getting grouped was?
A year ago?
I
I
mean,
don't
I'm a believer of they would be getting grouped, but obviously it was a bigger worry back then than what it is now.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would've thought maybe second. I think third place qualifies now. The best third
Yeah,
place is.
but bro, a year ago, that shit was dire. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
And then to end off the pod, I wrote something about some of the players we thought would be here for make the World Cup that are not here, and I figured let's just kind of I'll say some names and then pick a guy you want to talk about. Some guys that are not going to make the World Cup that a lot of people thought at the beginning of the cycle. David Ochoa, keeper. Some people thought he would do something.
MLS keeper. Yeah, I thought.
MLS, that dude has run his career into the ground. Sucks. But center backs, Emilio Lara, Victor Guzman.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Victor Guzman. I feel like Victor Guzman went into because playing time. He just went to the worst team he could possibly go. I don't think he's a bad center back. I just think starting off in Monterrey, a little bit of playing time, and then I mean we know what Monterrey is now. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a mess. Dude, he just turned 24.
He's
Yeah,
still young, he can make it to the next World Cup, no doubt.
I feel like he's been around forever, man, since his days at Cholos. I feel like he's been
yeah,
hyped up, but he just turned 24. Like, that's crazy to me. Emilio Lara, he has
he's
one
done.
Cap with Mexico since 2022.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, I think he played in that game against Switzerland and got cooked, so, yeah, he didn't
Yeah.
have a I think his opportunity's gone too.
I mean, he's just what, 20, I think he's 24 years old as well, so it's kinda
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then okay, so these 2 guys I thought were gonna be our starters at this World Cup. Kevin Alvarez and Gerardo Arteaga. I thought they were gonna be starting for sure. Arteaga started for us all 3 games at the Copa America 2024, has not been called up since. Kevin Alvarez, our youngest player at the World Cup in Qatar, he played 2 games. He made the big move to Club America in summer of 2023. He has 1 appearance for Mexico since September of 2023.
That move completely ruined his career. Should've gone Chivas.
No, I mean, the thing is,
Either way,
like, the big difference between the big clubs in Mexico, I feel like it was the worst decision Alvarez could make because America, you get there, you have to perform. You know, Cruz Azul gives you continuation, Chivas gives you continuation, they develop you a bit. But America is probably the only big team where you get there and you have to be fucking ready, which I felt he was in his first 2 seasons, and now it's kind of just like, what happened to Kevin Alvarez?
his form fell off. I know he got hurt, but he was the youngest player in Qatar for us. I figured, "Oh, he'll be starting for us in 4 years." Nowhere near the roster.
Yeah, nowhere.
Midfield, a couple guys I thought would be here. Sebastian Cordova, I thought he would be here for us. Hasn't sniffed. He's played 67 minutes for Mexico since 2023. That move to Tigres, like you were just saying, just
Yeah.
did not that big move did not pan out. Jeremy Marquez, still waiting for his debut for Mexico.
Yeah, he hasn't made an official debut. I remember he
Yeah,
played
in that
was it
River
against
Plate game, I
River
think?
Plate or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
he just didn't do all that either. I mean, he plays really good for Cruz Azul, but you would think that he's like a up and coming youngster. I think he's like, what, 28 or 29? If I'm not
He
mistaken?
is he is 25 years old. He turns 26 in 2 months,
Yeah,
in
been
June.
around he's just been around forever. I mean, I know he got the big campeonato with Atlas, but I still remember him, like, hearing about him before even that.
I mean, he's been playing since he was 19 at
Yeah,
Atlas,
I
so
know he's been around for a
he's been
minute.
playing a lot, but he just hasn't made his debut for Mexico. It's kinda crazy considering how many, I guess he made his debut, I guess, if you count that River Plate game, but, like, in a not in an official match. It's kinda crazy.
Yeah.
But the one that surprised me the most, Eric Gutierrez. He's 30 years old. He turns 31 in like, he just I figured he would be the Guardado of this cycle, the older veteran in the middle. Nothing, man. He has 1 appearance for Mexico since the World Cup, since the 2022 World Cup.
I mean,
¿Qué pasó?
if you saw Chivas starting last season, you would see why. He committed like 2 or 3 penalties. He was always like he doesn't fit in Milito's midfield, and then I feel like since, the Serbian coach that Chivas had, I just don't feel like he's fit in the midfield in general.
He's definitely does not fit the Chivas style right now. He's an older, not older, but he's slower. He's more of a deep line player now.
Mhm.
He was never that fast, athletic, but not even like in a nothing, like 1 appearance since 2022. That's kinda crazy, and now he's just collects a paycheck. He never left. There was rumors of him going to MLS on a loan or something.
Yeah,
He's
they were
just
trying to push
sitting
him
at
out.
Chivas. Yeah.
I mean, he's happy in Guadalajara getting paid who knows how many
Mhm.
millions. I would be too. Shit.
I mean, Chivas paid like $4 million for him.
Yep, on the loan, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, on the transfer. The transfer fee, that is insane.
Yeah, some attacking mids that I thought would be here. Alex Alcala, he just turned 21, I think. He
Is that the
dude is
Man City one, right?
he's that kid. Yeah, now he's at Querétaro. He's hasn't played for, I don't think he's even made the bench. He played
Didn't
for
he
the
get
U21 club.
tour or something? Like he did a Charla Pumas and got rejected there?
I don't know, but I mean, he's at Querétaro, so it's not like he's at the top of Liga MX. Diego Lainez didn't make 2022, not gonna make
It's
this
not looking
World
good
Cup.
for him for this World Cup either.
Yeah, he's
Like
not
how
making
you were
Marcelo,
mentioning wingers, how you were mentioning sorry, real quick, just how you were mentioning wingers. Like I feel like he's one of those wingers that could have, potentially be that kind of winger that can take on their players, take on their defenders, be an attacking threat. But I mean, it just doesn't look like he's Vasco's um no le llena el ojo. It's just not his type of player.
Well, he's
he
for so go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he's one of those players that I was calling for, "Hey, let's try him at" if we were gonna play 3 in the back and 2 bombing wingers or wing backs, I was like, "Hey, let's put him at right wing or yeah, as a wing back just to see something," but go ahead, Tomas.
I just think that he's poor at tracking back, and I think that something that Vasco just doesn't tolerate. Players have to track back, and we see that in his national team right now.
There's no player on Mexico good enough to not have to track back.
Yep, exactly.
You're not Messi, bro, like, Marcelo Flores, there was all this hype of him maybe making 2022 roster, whatever. Now he's gonna go to the World Cup, but just for Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Yep, for Canada.
Yep. Chucky Lozano, I figured he'd make this World Cup too. Now he's just sitting in San Diego collecting his $7 million a year, just waiting for something.
He must be sad.
It must
San
be
Diego,
sad.
beautiful city.
Yeah.
Making millions. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
I don't feel bad for him, but because Vasco loves him. Like that was the rumor last November when he got called up. Vasco loves him, and then he went back, had a big blowout, has not seen the field since November.
Yep.
Jordan Carrillo. I thought he would maybe make the roster because back in early 2023, he was in Europe.
Mhm.
I thought, he's developing in Europe. Maybe he'll do something. He's been a solid MLS player, or sorry, Liga MX player,
Nothing more than that.
nothing
Yeah.
more. And I think
Yeah.
we talked about it before. Ozil Herrera, I thought he could do something, but no call ups, nothing since summer of 2020, since the 2023 Gold Cup. He's just chilling at Tigres.
Yeah, I mean, I really like his profile. He's very direct. He's a good player. I don't know why Vasco hasn't really given him much opportunities. I think he called him up for like a microciclo when we played against Valencia and then the US or something like that. But ever since then, no, we haven't seen nothing of him.
And all those guys I just named, they're all wingers. So
Pretty
that kind of explains why we have no wingers. If these guys were our quote unquote best prospects, like we got nothing on the wing. A couple
Yeah,
dudes I thought would make it as strikers. Santi Jimenez, I don't know why the fuck he didn't make 2022 just so we can get 4 minutes of Funes Mori. But he should make it. I think that's a safe bet. Jota Macias,
damn.
injuries,
yeah,
man.
you gotta feel for him.
I felt bad for him, bro. Nice dude. I think he's got a career in media if he wants. He did some English language stuff with Hercules Gomez
I speaks
last
English.
year.
Mhm.
Oh, he speaks decent English, so I think he's got a career in media if he wants it. I think he's still on the books at Pumas, right?
I
Yeah,
think he
he's still
might be,
trying to
yeah.
recover.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. And then finally, Santiago Munoz, 18-month loan to Newcastle. I feel like if that loan was a year earlier before Newcastle got bought, maybe he would have had more chances. But once they got bought all that big money, I was like, this dude's not gonna make it
Yeah.
here. He went on a loan in MLS to Kansas City. Now
So
he's back at San Luis. So
Honorable mention, Fidel Ambrí.
yeah,
very
that's
good.
yeah. I thought another Monterrey kid. Right?
Yeah, another
Yeah,
Monterrey move.
That team is so old, too. Like
Yeah,
all the foreign stars they brought in and at the Gatito, like they're old, dude. That team needs at least Tigres has younger. They signed younger guys a couple years. They got a couple old guys, but Tigres is way younger than Monterrey.
oh, yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
They need to look back to their academy.
Yeah, dude. Fidel is just 22 years old, or he just turned 23 2 weeks ago.
That is
Another
insane.
dude,
Plus up.
another dude that I feel like has been around forever, and he's 23.
Well, all those starts that he had at Leon.
Dude, he had 92 appearances for Leon.
Another honorable mention, Elias Montiel. Speaking about like midfielders and stuff too.
He's a bimbo,
Yeah, but
yeah.
how old is he? 20?
He probably yeah just
21.
turned.
Yeah, honorable mention from the last couple years, but, like, back in early 2023, he
Yeah.
17, 18 years old, so, like, the hype wasn't,
Yeah,
like, there. I think
I feel like
injuries kinda
maybe
robbed him a little bit. He had
yeah.
a bad
If
timed injury.
he didn't get injured, maybe he could have been called up for
I
maybe
think
some more
it would've
matches.
been it would've been him and Guti. I think Guti kinda took his spot in terms of, like, Liga MX players getting called up to these, like, Molero friendlies who impressed, but I think Montiel could have been that guy in the midfield. I still have high hopes for him. I think he's
Yeah,
gonna
for
be
sure.
good. He's 21. Sorry, he's 20. He turns 21 in October.
Yeah, he's a young player.
But yeah, those are dudes some dudes we thought would have been here, but
It's
alas, it was
unfortunate.
not meant to be. Well, this is as good a spot as any to end the episode. Big thanks to Gerardo and Tomas for joining us. Where can we find you guys? I know you guys are all over the place.
Well, yeah, mainly just Charla Football. I'll make sure to send a link to Raul so you can put that in the description down below. But yeah, Charla Football, FTBL at the end. And yeah, I mean, you guys can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify right now. Working on the Apple thanks to my boy Raul. I'm going to work on that today. And then, I mean, yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much for the invite.
Tomas, any thoughts before we sign off here?
No, I mean, Harlow gave all the info. Just want to thank you for the invite as well. It was a pleasure meeting you, bro, and speaking about what we love the most, football.
You guys, let's see, are you guys gonna cover? I think one of those the send off game is in California, no?
Yeah, there's the Mexico versus
Serbia?
Australia is going to be here at the Rose Bowl. And then they play one more game in Toluca. And that's like the official last match.
Is that the Serbia game?
Yeah, Serbia match. That's probably where we're gonna see the exact 11 we're gonna see against South Africa.
Bro, we better see that in California. Like, I want more than one game with the starting lineup, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, for sure.
100%.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the episode. Make sure you like and subscribe to catch all the future episodes, and make sure you give these guys a follow as we creep closer to the 2026 World Cup. Thanks, guys. Later.